Well, Deputy President Paul Mashatile is to address the Global SME Ministerial meeting. We've got Liabo Setho, who is there. So let's cross over to her and find out what we can expect this morning. Liabo, good morning.
Good morning, Leanne. Well, we have essentially arrived at the finish line of this conference. Today is the last day, and deliberations have been going so well, but I was touched by something that the Minister of Small Business Development, who's right behind me, actually said yesterday, talking about the impact of geopolitics and things like tariffs and how they impact on SMEs first before they go anywhere, and how they are the most hardest hit. And of course, we're going to have the Deputy Minister later this afternoon addressing the meeting, and we're quite keen to hear what he tells the ministers that are here visiting from across the world. But for now, I have invited the Minister of Small Business Development, Stella Ndabeni, just to give us an overview of how everything has went so far and if it has reached the kind of levels that she had hoped for. Good morning once again. Thank you. We always enjoy having you around. Tell me about the progress that has been made. I know you arrived yesterday because you had to be in Cape Town, but from the report that you have gotten, the deliberations, was everything that you hoped for, at least discussed?
Thank you and good morning to you. Yes, according to the briefing that I received last night, everything went well on the deliberations. As you know, we came here with a theme. As we started on Monday with the Startup 20, which ended on Tuesday, then the Global Ministerial started yesterday, the different aspects and the TPO. So they all come together, culminating to the outcomes that will be announced today. And I don't want to blow the whistle before they finalize. But as we had said, the main purpose was to bring together countries to discuss the issues that are affecting small enterprises. And I think we've managed to do that, not only the industry itself, but industry together with the bank systems or the bank organizations or financial organizations, now policymakers. It has never happened. We have 62 countries that are here in South Africa as we're speaking, from different countries. Just Africa alone, we have 28. We have about 12 from America and the Caribbean. You have the Asian. They just gathered here and to say all of us agree that small enterprises play a critical role in growing the economy and also creating jobs. And that's why we're looking forward to the address by the Deputy President today when we hand over the call to action that is being made by the participants.
You mentioned something interesting in your keynote address yesterday, talking about the impact of things like tariffs and trade barriers and how they impact on small enterprises. Do you think that in one of the resolutions that will be said today, something concrete will come out about how to cushion the impact? You asked the ministers to soften the impact and find ways of softening the impact. Which one or some of the ways do you think this can be done?
Of course, the first thing is to engage with the ministers responsible for trade in the different countries. At least now, there's a step that we've taken as the ministers responsible throughout these countries, as I said, 62 countries. Now the next level is to lobby the leaders of the summit, of the G20, to say your countries are stating what you are always talking about. Because the ministers of trade have been responding, but also the economy has been badly affected. Now, how do we work together in ensuring that in the trade agreements that we sign, we don't just look at big business, but we also filter the role that must be played by small enterprises, so that when a head of state or anyone who is in authority takes a decision to impose tariffs, they take that into consideration to say, am I deliberate in excluding small businesses in the economy? Am I deliberate in trying to kill the entrepreneurs that are innovating? But at least you will have a voice, a bigger voice from many countries that are coming. And we do trust that the leaders of the summit, when it comes in November, the G20, they will look into this. That's why we're mobilizing even countries outside the G20.
Yeah. Just as I'm about to let you go, this is an inaugural meeting. When are we having the next one? In 2 years or next year? And where do you think it will be held?
Well, because we started here in South Africa, as you said, it's inaugural. Then the summit today will then decide if we are following the G20 route. If we are following the G20 route, it means it's going to America next year. But we will see after the outcomes today. But we're still trying to lobby each other if it is something that must be held annually or we have it biannually.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I've been speaking to the Minister of Small Business Development, Ms. Stella Ndabeni, and as you can say, today is a pivotal critical time because all the recommendations are going to be put together and presented to the Leaders Summit later this year, Leanne. But of course, she says then that's when they'll decide what happens from here on. Do they follow the G20 route or do they do it biannually? But she says more than 60 ministers here, and today is the closing day. Let's hear what the Deputy President is going to be saying later today. But we're also going to be speaking to some of the ministers who are attending here from different countries just to get an idea of what's happening in their countries when it comes to small business development. Leanne, back to you in studio.
Thanks so much, Liabo Setho, on that story.